Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Previously, we managed to prove that the victim in this case, a Mr. Wilson from Britain, had just come out of a dentist appointment where he was on anesthesics and couldn't chew, which proved that the steak on his dinner table must have belonged to a second person, which proved our protagonist's theory that it must have been the woman who shot him, or maybe just was involved in this somehow. And now the waiter is stepping forward. Apparently, he must be undercover because his business card actually says he's with the government in some way. I forget his exact title, but a waiter this man is not. And indeed, he has, told these two witnesses on either side of him to stay quiet. So we need to figure out what the hell is going on here. I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized it was a possibility.
The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence.
Well.
Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once.
Of course. Here we are. Yes, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. I strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It's my guiding principle. But I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake.
So, you mean to say you really are a detective?
But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Oh, of course, your Hold on. Your salary must be terrible. I was working undercover. Undercover? Yes, there have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide.
Very well then, Inspector Hosonoga. But you will elaborate on one point for the court.
Of course, Your Excellency.
We have just heard new information from the two witnesses beside you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would have also been aware of this person's presence, having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner. Therefore, I am led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you required these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct?
Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable! As I suspected. As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair, and beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the same table was a young lady whom I guessed to be an Englishwoman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the Bureau. It was then that I received some special orders. Special orders? You mean to say... Remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once. It was made clear that the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. But what if this Englishwoman was the killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interest not to pursue that idea. The Empire views the friendly terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An Englishman has been murdered on our soil. To name an Englishwoman as the primary suspect, well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case. But it's not right. This is some deep shit, I'll tell you what. One possibility does spring to mind. What do you mean, Kazuma? Yume University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain. And I'm fairly certain that one of them, studying in the medical faculty's research laboratory, is a young Englishwoman. What? You're a shrewd man. I can see why you're the chosen candidate for the overseas study tour. You mean... When I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first.
Then the court demands that you name the lady in question at once, Inspector.
The Englishwoman? Oh. The Englishwoman sitting at the university professor's table was a certain Miss Giselle Brett. Giselle Brett? For some reason I can think of J. Elbird from a previous Ace Attorney game, like... But no, I think this might be Jail Brat? Giselle. Giselle Brett. Jailbait? No, definitely not. She is indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory of Yume University's medical faculty.
What is happening here?
I admit that under orders from the police bureau, I erased all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene, and ordered these witnesses to make no mention of her in their testimonies. It must now be up to Your Excellency to decide how to deal with this situation.
Very well. My thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise. Namely, that the victim was dining alone. However, as we have now discovered that this premise is false, it would be a desecration of our justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point.
Good on you, Judge.
Objection!
But Your Excellency, that would mean missing the noon deadline of a ruling in order to send the telegraphic report to Great Britain. Our own government will surely be very displeased by such actions.
Calm yourself, Counsel. I will not allow the government of our country or any other to influence the proceedings of my courtroom.
I like this dude.
Inspector Hosonaga.
Yes, sir.
You will locate this Giselle Brett and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency.
At once, Your Excellency.
But that means you'll be going against the special orders you were given from the police bureau.
As I said before, It is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly. So it won't be a problem. Nothing will get in my way. Man, I started this video already to hate this dude because he was trying to obscure the information, but no, he's pretty solid.
Court will adjourn briefly. The prosecution must call the English student Giselle Brett to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear?
Yes. Your Excellency.
Good. Then we will have a 30-minute recess before reconvening. Dibs on the monkey bars.
Wow. Is this... Right, so not counting any of the investigations games, which breaks the formula quite a bit, is this the longest introduction case in this franchise? Wow. I mean, I love it, don't get me wrong. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. That was superb. My heart was in my mouth the entire time. It was almost unbelievable. I mean, looking at you in there. You were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. It was a grim sight, but before I knew it, you'd started finding inconsistencies in the testimonies. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer. Forget it, it's terrifying. If I get through this, I don't ever want to see the inside of a courtroom again. Anyway, it looks like we've exposed your phantom lady at last. Miss Giselle Brett, a student from Great Britain, is she? That's what I was trying to tell everyone from the start. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. There was a young woman with him, like I've been saying all along. Yes, you have, haven't you? I might not be overly confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing I am sure of. Yes, I can see that. So, about this young gentlewoman. Thanks to our detective friend, she was hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Did you see what happened with that? No, I didn't see any of it. I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself, then, on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table, I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor, and just after I bent down and picked it up, I didn't have time to think about where the sound of the gunshot had come from. The waiter ran over to me, looking as white as a sheet, and he bundled me into some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen. Fast thinking by the detective, he apprehended his suspect without a moment's delay. Yes, and because I was shut in the pantry, I have no idea what happened outside in the dining area. Ah, there you are. Well done, both of you. Is this the one dude? Mikitoba? Yeah. Professor Mikitoba.
Well, it seems I was right. The pair of you make an outstanding team. You've exceeded my expectations, I have to say.
Yes, it seems you planned this from the start. You arranged things so that I wouldn't be able to act as lawyer in this trial.
Our modern country is still in its infancy. Our justice system even more so. Which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. I wanted to avoid a situation that may have resulted in your study tour to Great Britain being cancelled.
Well, makes no difference. Lawyer or otherwise, if I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis of his life, I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyway. What? What are you saying, Kazuma?
So that's your stance. I was afraid you'd feel that way.
Kazuma?
Well then, it looks like it all comes down to you, young man.
To me?
Yes, you need to prove your innocence and uncover what really took place in that restaurant. I must say I very much want to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection to this case.
Do you now? Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? Right, you're both professors of the same academy, Wilson and Mikotoba here. If you don't mind me asking, Professor, did you know the victim?
Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at Yume. And it was I who invited him.
Oh, I see. I didn't know that before.
Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible.
But let's not forget who we're going up against. The gentlewoman whose involvement our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide.
Yes, and I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. But I've no doubt that you pair will put up a good fight right to the last. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Now then, I need you to run an errand at the university at once. There's something I think we may need.
Of course. Good luck, Kazuma-sana. Hey, what? No words for Ryunosuke? Come on.
Defendant Naruhodo, court recess is over. The judge had his fill of the monkey bars. Please make your way back inside the courtroom at once.
It's time. Let's get back to it, partner. Let's go in there and deal a decisive blow before those old fossils know what's hit them. Kazuma. What? Thank you. Really. What for? Well, if you hadn't said you believed me, then I'm fairly sure I'd already have been found guilty by now. Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer and as a friend. Coming from you, that means a lot. If I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really going to give up on his dream of studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. So this isn't just my battle anymore. Whoever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. Alright then. I'll save the thank yous for after the trial. You can treat me to one of those sukiyaki meals I like from Yume Cafeteria on University Street. With an extra large portion, of course. I know takoyaki is octopus, but what is sukiyaki? God, I really want to try takoyaki.
The court hereby resumes the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Prosecutor Aochi, have you managed to subpoena the witness?
Yes, Your Excellency, against all odds. And thanks to a certain young stripling, the prosecution is now under rather painful scrutiny from the government.
Sorry. Let the government scrutinize. That's their job. It's nothing to worry about.
It's highly unlikely that the good relations we forge with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. Will you still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down and our nation founders?
Do you mean flounders? Again, terribly sorry. If the friendship between our nations is really so fragile and the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on, wow. You really have nothing to worry about, Ryunosuke.
What do you mean?
A secret trial, anxiety over some foreign government's opinions, bungled investigation, missing witnesses. Is this what our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England?
Shut up! Shut up, you jumped-up rookie boy! You and your friend know nothing. Nothing of the situation our nation finds itself in.
God, the writing in this game's so good.
By aligning ourselves with this great world power, we'll become strong. Diplomacy has never been more critical. Steady political maneuvering is what will secure our futures.
I won't deny that I'm no expert. I'm just a student, and one who could arguably study harder too. But standing here now in our Supreme Court, there is one thing that I feel very strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all. Well said, Ryunosuke, despite the wide-eyed look of terror.
You little brats!
Thank you, Counsel. This court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system and exists solely for the pursuance of truth. With that in mind, this trial will now resume with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Giselle Brett.
Yes. Your Excellency?
Well, that's one hell of a hat. Oh, I already know I need to work in the phrase Swan song somewhere in this title. The title of this video.
Well, what a delight it is to welcome such a fine gentlewoman to Japan, and from such a distant land.
Tea. Someone bring English tea. In England, no discussions take place without tea.
Is that true? No idea.
So, could we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation for the court?
Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I have been working undercover as the head waiter at the...
Yes, we know all about you already.
Inspector Hosonaga, where are your manners? In England, it's always ladies first.
Is that true?
No idea. More importantly, a little earlier today, you said something to me. You said your powers of observation are the one thing you're sure of. Oh, yes, I think I did, didn't I? Yet your description for this amazing sight was simply... a woman. Sorry, Ryunosuke, but powers of observation aside, your powers of description are sorely lacking. Guilty.
So, dear lady, once again, if we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please.
She speaks in cursive and also, suddenly out of nowhere, bears a shocking resemblance to Mask Demask? The hell?
I'm terribly sorry, dear lady, but what?
Maybe this is her speaking French. Ah, I get it. Hosanaga's gonna translate for the court, and I think we're about to have to do watching their body language and see their tells. I'm thinking at some point Hosanaga's gonna bend the truth a bit and say something that this lady did not say. The lady says her name is Giselle Brett. She comes from London, England. She is a visiting research student currently. Did I say she was French earlier? Speaking French? Where did I get French from? Maybe... I think it's the frills. I think it's the frills and the hat. Oh, that's right. That's how my brain leapt to French. I play Genshin Impact, and it recently had version 4.0 come out, which introduced Fontaine, the Land of Water, and it is very heavily based on France. And the running theme for a lot of character designs in Fontaine is that they have ridiculous, huge, very fancy, intricate hats with flowers in them. So I think my subconscious looked at her big swan hat and was like, wow, it's like the Fontaine character. She must be from Fontaine, so she's French. And that's how my brain thought she was French. The brain is a weird thing, isn't it? She's a visiting research student currently enrolled in Yume University's medical faculty.
Oh my, what a rare treat to hear the dulcet tones of the delightful language of the British people. I'm afraid I don't understand a word you said, but it was as beautiful as a hummingbird's song.
As far as I can tell, the detective is translating her words faithfully enough. Yes, I agree. Well, obviously do fine in England, Kazuma. Her English doesn't rattle you at all, does it? Nor you. You've clearly been paying attention in your English classes, Ryunosuke.
The court thanks the beautiful lady for taking the stand. And now, if we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Brett. 3 days ago, at a restaurant called Le Carnaval, a grim murder took place. The court has been led to believe that you were dining there with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct?
Also sudden flashbacks to La Mirror. Damn. She says yes. This could take some time. So even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese. She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She says that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting, when you're the one who engineered her escape. I was just following special orders from the Bureau.
Well now, dear lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over this photographic print? Seeing as you were so unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, Could it be that your resplendent eyes caught sight of the wicked perpetrator, perhaps?
Apparently it was a very frightening and sorrowful sight.
Do you mean to say?
Yes, it would appear the lady did witness the crime. The very moment when the accused, standing right there in this courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood.
Order! Order in the court!
Did you hear that, Your Excellency? Here we have an absolutely conclusive witness statement.
Well, looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is.
Unfortunately, I will have to ask you to formally testify if you please. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of this frightening and sorrowful sight you described.
I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only a beef steak.
What about the carbonated water?
After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor, and they got into a fierce argument. Then, not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit.
Well, you could have taken the gun too. Hold on. This is a condemning testimony indeed.
No, I didn't have any kind of argument with the professor at all.
Objection!
Quiet, you filthy wretch. Look at you, your black-hearted blackguard, and look at this snow-white angel. I'm sure even a dark-minded scoundrel like you can imagine whose words the court is going to believe.
Also shades of... Shades of Dahlia Hawthorne too, with this beautiful woman having the prosecution and the judge around her finger. Yeah, this intro case is pulling from a lot of things, but it still feels original and fresh. This is great. You're still making the same mistakes, Ryunosuke. You mustn't blurt out when you're goaded like that. That's a lesson you need to learn. But he's so annoying. Of course, I was at the scene as well. I took statements from this lady and the two witnesses who testified before, and reported back to the Bureau. It was decided that Miss Brett was not involved, so I let her go. The testimonies of the last two witnesses were completely worthless, however. Well, even so, on the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as she is today. As you can see, there is nowhere about her person where she could conceal a firearm. Nah, man, ladies have lots of hiding places. I would think she could hide a gun almost anywhere in that outfit if she wanted to.
Unless and until the precise location where the witness is to have hidden the weapon can be shown, this is moot.
There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. Those are the witness's own words on the matter. That's ridiculous. If only I was allowed to lift up her dress, I could prove it. Don't think about doing anything rash, Ryunosuke.
But I didn't fire the gun I picked up. There must have been another gun there that day.
You're right about that, which means this lady was hiding a gun somewhere. Yes, that's what we have to prove now. And to do so, we will need to pull her testimony apart. That smile.
The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
Oh, yes, Your Excellency. Bring it on. I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day.
Yes!
After 2 p.m., in fact. That's really quite a late lunch, isn't it?
Objection!
You don't keep up with the latest fashions from Britain, do you? Late luncheons are en vogue. En vogue. En vogue. Isn't that right? No.
A decisive English no has quite a sting to it. The gentlewoman is currently working in the victim's research laboratory, it seems. So it was apparently a daily occurrence that they could lunch together. But on the day in question, the victim had another appointment at the clinic first. Yes, which we can prove from the medical report card that was submitted as evidence earlier. That's right. Miss Brett and the victim went to lunch following the victim's treatment, which is why it was so late.
Yes, that all makes perfect sense.
Such wonderful logic. What a shining example of English intelligence this fine gentlewoman is.
So you both arrived at the restaurant. What happened next? The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only. A beefsteak.
Yes!
He was unable to eat, you say? And that was because he just had a tooth removed at Hata Clinic, correct? That's right. You were supposed to actually check with a witness before answering. Was Miss Brett aware of that fact? It seems so, yes. She'd heard that the professor was to have some dental treatment. So that would mean that it was you who ate the steak pictured here. Is that right, Miss Brett? That's right, yes. The print you have there shows the table exactly as it was left after the horrifying events. Exactly as it was left?
Dear me, what a harrowing experience. To have traveled to a distant island on the far side of the world and be embroiled in such a tragic incident. Have no fear, my dear lady. I swear I will crush the evil fiend that has subjected you to this terrible plight.
So the victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to eat or drink at all. That's right. Other than some carbonated water. Oh. Just water. Yes, the professor was unable to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. Had he? Hold on. Oh, drinking anything but water. Crap. Record of some kind of medical treatment. Entry for the day professor was killed. I think we read this before, so A decayed tooth, laughing gas, latest medical advancement. Cautionary note at the end from whoever wrote this. It says, no food or drink other than water for 3 hours. If you really want to split hairs, you could say that. Oh. Carbonated water is not water. Honestly, yeah, I can picture Phoenix Wright splitting hairs like that, so... I mean, almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas after all. Yes, the professor was unable to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. So it appears that the diners toasted their lunch with a glass of water each. Aha. They each raised a glass of carbonated water. What do you think, Ryunosuke, about the witness's last statement? Well, yeah. That means there were 2 glasses. Where'd the second one go? That last statement of yours, Miss Brett, has a profound bearing on this case.
Well, how fascinating. Do tell us, what is this profound bearing,
The significance of the statement will become apparent when the time is right. The defense calls for the witness's last statement to be formally added to the testimony.
Well sidestepped, counsel.
Very well, Miss Brett. Kindly repeat what you just said to be added to your official testimony.
Gladly, she said. That was brilliant, Kazuma. I'm going to remember that one. Which one? The significance will become apparent when the time is right. I could really use that phrase. I'd hope there are some more useful tips you're picking up from this experience than that, Ryunosuke. I ordered a beefsteak for myself, and the professor and I said cheers over a glass of carbonated water.
Yes!
So both you and the professor drank this carbonated water, did you? Yes. Being the waiter, I poured the 2 glasses myself. I clearly remember doing so.
Ah, thank you.
Except you're actually a detective. And the beefsteak, that was for you, Miss Brett. The lady says that she'd heard it was not customary to eat beef here until Japan opened its doors to the world. Yes, that's true. What a frightful place, is the lady's opinion. And I've heard it's not customary to eat sashimi in Great Britain. Now that's frightful. Sashimi. You know my favorite type of food is sushi? And my favorite sushi is eel. I love unagi, and that, when the crisp is just right and the savory meat with a little bit of sauce on it. Oh, chef's kiss. A bit of miso to wash it down. Oh no, I've made myself really hungry. Every country has its own cuisine. As long as people have food to eat, what does it matter what it is? True. Come to think of it, first time I tried carbonated water, it was much more of a shock than the first time I tried beef. Oh, man, that reminds me of the first time I had anything carbonated. I was like 4 or 5 years old. I was over at a friend's house. He brought me to the refrigerator and pulled out a can of... It was either Coke or Pepsi, one of the two. Maybe Dr. Pepper. No, I think it was Pepsi. And he opened it for me. He was my age, this friend. And I mean, my age at the time, like 4 or 5. He opened it for me and handed it to me, didn't tell me what it was, and I took a sip following his lead, and then the carbonation hit me. I had no idea what it was, so I just did a huge spit take. Like, imagine those dramatic spit takes you see on TV where just the full mouth of liquid just goes flying everywhere. That was me. It went all over that kitchen. And, frankly, I'm 28 and I still never really drink soda. I took a curious sip of Coca-Cola once, and I hated it. Nah, man, I'm a water and fruit juice kind of man. That's all I need. And the odd milk. And alcohol. But no soda. But anyway, back to this witness statement. Somehow, I feel like there's something out of place in what she's saying. I love Ryunosuke's face right here. That face looks like he's smelling a fart drifting from across the room. That's a little bit of disgust I'm seeing. Need to pounce on even the slightest thing now. Because you never know what might lead us to our goal. Our goal of turning this trial around. Understood, Kazuma. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor and they got into a fierce argument.
Yes!
I never got into an argument with the professor. All I did when I noticed him was go over to say hello. Please don't get angry with me. No, I wasn't directing that retort at you. It was meant for the lady next to you. But anyway, as I said, I did not argue with the professor. I'm afraid your words are in vain. Sorry? Miss Brett does not appear to speak Japanese.
No, of course not. Japanese is such a cumbersome language anyway. English is the future. We must all supiku Ingarishu.
I wonder if the prosecution will feel that way forever, or only in the presence of a beautiful woman, Well, that beautiful woman is telling blatant lies with a completely straight face. I have to find something that will unravel her testimony, no matter how seemingly insignificant it may be. Anyway, it seems that after the argument, the accused briefly returned to his own seat. That part ties in with what you said, doesn't it? Yes, I still had some coffee to drink. And the next time you got up after that was when I'd finished my coffee and stood up to leave. Then, not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes.
Yes!
Like I said, I did not shoot that gun. And like I said, there is no point repeating that assertion over and over. Well, I wasn't expecting to be attacked by my own side.
Nevertheless, defendant, you can't deny that when the shot rang out in the restaurant, you had a gun in your hand.
Well, yes, that's true, but all I did was pick up the gun I saw on the floor next to the professor as I was leaving the restaurant. In fact, yes, there was someone much closer to the victim than me at that time. The highly suspicious lady.
That will do, you dirty, rotten scoundrel. Dirty? Your baseless accusations could very well cause an international incident, boy.
it seems to me that your accusation is just as baseless as ours.
What nonsense.
The lady is merely stating what she saw. And this is already an international incident as far as I'm concerned anyway. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit.
Yes!
It's all very well saying that, but can you prove it? Absolutely. I verified it personally. You verified it? Yes. Immediately after the incident, I checked to make sure the lady was not carrying a weapon. I distinctly remember her saying, "I'm not." That's all you did? You just asked her? Surely you carried out a physical search, Inspector. No. Why on earth not?
The Honorable English gentlewoman clearly stated that she did not possess a weapon. There was obviously no need for any further probing into the matter.
Or there was no permission given for further probing into the matter, perhaps?
Think what you will, but if you're going to continue with this preposterous claim that the refined lady was concealing a firearm, the prosecution demands that you support your assertion with facts.
In other words, he wants evidence.
Ugh.
The lady wishes to point out that of course she wanted to stay and assist with the investigation. But she was in a hurry to give a presentation at the university, so she was compelled to leave. Not to mention the fact that your office had told you to get the woman out of there. Not get her out of there, I just urged her to leave. The lady would like to point out that she in no way meant to run away from the scene of the crime. Which is why she is only too happy to cooperate and testify here in court today, of course.
Unlike a certain student who refuses to admit when the game is up. You could at least have the courtesy to pay attention when I'm goading you.
So she's maintaining that you got into an argument with the professor, at the end of which you shot him. Which is an out-and-out totally unfounded lie. Still, her statement is very compelling. After all, she's an elegant, refined, young and beautiful gentlewoman from Great Britain. In stark contrast to you, dressed from head to toe in a dull black school uniform. Oh, that's why the ouchie was calling him a blackguard. Honestly, it looks brown to me, but yeah, I guess it would be black. There's like a trend in anime to represent black colors on black colors on characters as being a different color entirely. Like, take one of my favorite films, Kiki's Delivery Service by Studio Ghibli. Yeah, no, Kiki visually wears a purple dress, but in universe it's supposed to be pitch black. It's a black witch's dress. And like, say the hair of Misato from Neon Genesis Evangelion. Yeah, that's supposed to be black hair, not purple. Purple is a very common choice to go for, like, not black. But in this case, I guess it's like a light brown. Which, frankly, is a lot more grounded. Thank you. I'm dressed exactly the same way as you are, except for the flapping red ribbons. Well, anyway, this is our only chance to expose her testimony as the fiction that it is. If we can't do that, the trial's over. Even you, with your thick skin, must be able to feel the murderous looks you're getting from around the room. Only too well. I feel half dead already. And the fact that I can't see a single inconsistency in her testimony isn't making me feel any better either. The first thing to do is press her on any of her statements that seem even slightly off to you. Do that and an opening will present itself, I promise you. I need to expose the true face of this exotic foreigner that's hiding behind the mask. That's what I should be aiming for in this cross-examination. Right, so I think it's number 2. Yeah. 2 glasses of carbonated water? I think not. The screen... whoops. This, photograph says otherwise. There's just 1 glass.
Yes!
That's it. Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do with this photographic print. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the crime scene. That it was exactly as it was left. That is correct, the lady says. Well, that is, it's odd, very odd.
Dear me, what's odd is the defense's inability to express itself.
Ryunosuke, what is it about the print that looks odd to you? Well, obviously it's the cheers.
The cheers?
Miss Brett just told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1.
Oh. You're quite right, Counsel. There is only 1 glass pictured here.
Objection!
Are we supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over minutiae? What possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass make on the case?
Objection!
Minutiae, you say? Could it be that the detective here removed a glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not. I would never do something so reckless. But there should have been 2 glasses on the table. Or are you going to try to tell me you can clink with only 1? You're quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table.
Inspector, what did the lady say?
It would seem that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table. What? It was all so terrifying, everything that happened. I panicked and thought I should try to hide the fact that I'd been there at all, she's saying.
Good gracious.
Sorry. There, as I assured the court before, this is of no consequence at all.
Oh, please.
We must remember that this student had just murdered this lady's luncheon companion before her very eyes. Who could blame her for concealing a glass or 2 in her state of disarray?
That's absurd.
Oh, really? So do we take it that you are now going to accuse this vulnerable, young, and beautiful woman of mischief?
What? No, this can't be put down to mischief. I'd like to know exactly how the lady took the glass from the scene. It would seem that she slipped it into a small handbag she was carrying. A handbag. Well, that's one hell of a place to store a pistol.
A handbag, you say?
Yes, Your Excellency. A small handheld pouch commonly carried by well-to-do women in England.
So, the beautiful lady has very graciously explained how and why she removed the glass from the scene now. However, the fact remains that this glass has absolutely no bearing on the case. This student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning, but in the end it comes to nothing. No more pretentious accusations. You have wasted enough time already.
Indeed, the lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed the glass. I think henceforth we can consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. Counsel for the defense, are you in agreement?
Well, I don't know, really. If you want to pursue this matter further, you're going to need to show that it has some deeper significance. Yes, you're right. So she took the glass away in her handbag. If there's a deeper significance there, it's the handbag. Oh, wait. The lady put the glass in her handbag, you say?
Yes, do try to keep up. It's already been explained to the court that all English gentlemen carry handbags for small items.
Let me see. A little while ago, Miss Brett stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. But what she forgot to mention was her handbag, in which it would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun.
You're right.
Well done, partner, and a feeling you'd pick up on that too.
What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard?
It's really very simple. The gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire that gun, we can deduce there must have been another firearm at the scene. The true murder weapon, if you will.
You can't seriously be suggesting...
Inspector Hosonaga. Yes? Did you or did you not search Miss Giselle Brett's handbag on the day of the murder? No, sir, I did not. As I thought. In other words, another gun. The one that was actually used to kill the professor. It could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag.
No!
Order, order, order.
What is the meaning of this, Inspector?
The meaning of what, Prosecutor Ouchie?
Why on earth did you not have the lady open her handbag and show you the contents at the time? Thanks to your bungling incompetence, now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations.
Brilliant work, partner. Now we have a chance to expose the real woman behind the mask. Do you think so, Kazuma? Oh well, what a sorry situation. Clearly you have no faith in the police. As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting, simply because it was unnecessary. Unnecessary in what way? I ought to thank the student lawyer, really. I have a piece of evidence here that I had completely forgotten about. This photographic print. The handbag see-through? Hold on. Why is there a mark of a bull on Dr. Wilson's wrist? And furthermore, why is that symbol identical to the one on his plate? I mean, on Gisele's plate? Like, was the plate hot? Was it cattle branded? What the frick? The hell is this? Oh, there's gonna be a lot more to this case, isn't there? We're not nearly done. As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag.
Well, I never.
I think this might actually be as good a chance to end things as I'm gonna get for a while. I do quite imagine we'll finish this intro case next time, absolutely 100% certain. And we'll probably have ample time to delve into the second and see what comes next. I still don't know if we're staying in Japan or going to Britain. Either way, I'm certain Ryunosuke is gonna heed the call to action. And honestly, I'm still pretty damn sure that Kazuma's gonna bite the bullet. Maybe literally. Maybe literally. Who knows? Just the weird bull mark. What in the sweet hell is going on with that? And wait, come to think of it, the orientation doesn't even match up. Okay, we don't have the photo in evidence, but I distinctly remember it was his right hand that had the brand of the bull. And when you look here, if Dr. Wilson was sitting down in the further seat, if he were to reach across, it would naturally be his left hand that would touch the bull, not his right, but his right has the mark. So what in the sweet hell even... This is weird. Well, setting aside all this mystery, yes, I am very thoroughly enjoying this game. It may be a new setting with new cast of characters, but it's still Ace Attorney, through and through, undoubtedly. Writing as sharp as a tack. It's good stuff, and there's so much intrigue, I just can't wait to see what happens next. So, I'm Zephyr the Jester. This has been more of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you next time. So until then, please take care.